Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast, where I, your host, Xavier Cruz, a lifelong wrestling fan, will take a lifelong friend through the action, the joys, and the drama of the world of professional wrestling. My co-host, Kelsey Silva, has been bitten by the wrestling bug, and I want to invite you to join us as I take her through the moments that made me a fan. So if you're new to wrestling and would like to get brought up to speed, or a fan who would like to relive some classic matches, promos, and segments through fresh eyes, join us as we embark on a journey through the Attitude Era and beyond. Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the 1997 edition of the Royal Rumble, and the match card is as follows. In our opener, we had Goldust taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson in the grudge match of the year. We had Vader and the Undertaker, and we had a six-man tag featuring Fuerza Guerrero, Heavy Metal, Jerry Estrada taking on Hector Garza, Pero Aguayo, and Connect, all of which were new to us.
No
And
idea
then
that was
we
happening.
had, yeah, no one knew it was happening. And then we had the Royal Rumble match, followed by the main event, which was the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels taking on Psycho Sid for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. This was a lot. There was a lot going on.
I just want you guys to know that we literally just finished it. Like, I just saw it. We are still processing what just occurred. Well, I am still processing what just occurred. I feel like I'm blackout drunk. I am so emotionally strung out.
Absolutely spent.
Girl.
It was a roller coaster of lows and highs.
Honey, new years, new traumas caused by wrestling. We're here. So
Amen.
fun. Happy New Year.
Amen. For those of you watching a little, I just wanted to show off my Christmas present.
Yes!
Look at it, matches the sign.
So cute.
I know,
obsessed.
it's amazing. Shout out to Lee of the
Thank you, Lee.
Geeks Who Like Sports podcast, amongst many other podcasts across the internet, but he got this for me.
He's such a G, seriously.
And Kelsey also has a set that I just have to get to her when I
so exciting. Yeah. So
when I grace your presence again.
Thank God. So when you see me with a New to Wrestling mug, just know that we once again reunited in
Real life.
person. But you'll probably feel it like in the space-time continuum.
Yeah,
so.
probably.
Yeah. I also quickly want to shout out my sister who got me these new headphones for the pod.
My God.
New year, new headphones, girl. And if you're watching, these were my old ones.
Oh, so funny.
Honey,
yeah, she sent me a picture and I was like, why do they look so haggard?
After every episode, these black like flecks would be just like stuck to my face. So thanks, Laura. We love you so much. Thank you. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I also have a new t-shirt to put up in our
wait, you do?
Here. Yeah, so the roomies got me a shirt with our logo all over.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, guys.
We're decked
so much.
out.
Thank you so much for loving us.
Thoroughly appreciate the support.
Yeah. Oh my God. And friends, fam, and all of you.
Speaking of which, I feel like I'm like the Bernie Sanders meme where he's like, I am once again asking you to vote for our podcast.
Swear to God, though, I am once again in the freezing cold on the sidewalk, just like I'm once again. What an angel.
No, but actually though, if you guys like what we do here, have been enjoying whatever we're putting out into the universe every week, we have been nominated for a sports podcast award. So in the link to this video, all across the socials, I'll link where you can go to vote. Every vote helps. It's all just icing at the cake at this point. On the cake.
Icing at the cake. Icing at the gig.
It's all just icing at this point, really.
It's all just icing out of the container at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, the only time. Oh, I was telling Kelsey before we hit record that my roommates and I have got a Ninja Creamy. It's like an ice cream maker, and we have been making ice cream nonstop for like 4 days.
Incredible.
Oh, it's
Which is what
absolutely
you
amazing.
should do. And I hope it's one of those things that, like, you use relentlessly for, like, maybe 3 weeks, and then you, like, stop, and then in, like, a couple of months, you're like, "Whatever happened to the Ninja Creamy?" And you whip it out again, and
Oh,
it's
fully.
frenzy again, like, for another, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just like a cycle of addiction.
I know, I'm so here for that. I'm so here for it. I hope it happens.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Yep.
We're gonna get into it with the Royal Rumble of
Girl, grab
1997.
your
This one,
drinks, grab your snacks. It was a doozy.
get prepared.
Get ready.
So the pay-per-view opens up with a promo of the main event. It's a little like black and white movie magic montage kind of going on,
I
giving
feel like
us
they got,
the
like, a new
update.
announcer.
Oh yeah.
He
It
was
was it
like,
was a different energy this time. I don't know what
I've
it was.
never
They
heard
like
this
stepped
man.
up the game in their like little promos because um on like a later promo you're like I feel like I'm watching a movie. Like I feel like
I said
I'm
I was like,
just
I feel like I'm watching a documentary film. Like,
oh
what
no,
is this?
fully. um but essentially the gist of the promo just kind of captures the last like 2-3 months between Psycho Sid, their last title match, the hitting of the camera, Jose Lothario's entire family being involved, the
Yeah.
summoning of the Mexicans to the Alamo Dome, like just all of the
What a
above
sin.
that we
My
have
God.
been kind of presented to us. There was a lot of words thrown around like justice and redemption and something about Shawn Michaels losing his innocence.
Yeah, it was literally like the boy toy grew up. And we were like,
Yeah, oh, we were
what?
like, okay, weird sentence, but sure.
Now he's the man toy.
Right.
So
Yeah,
whatever that means.
that's better.
That feels so much better. Yeah, totally.
Um,
Oh my God. So dramatic. Love the drama, honestly,
oh,
though. Like, it was so overdone to the point where it like circled back around to being art. Like,
right.
like just
Right. They had us,
so
they lost us, they got us back again.
yes. Like, because I was like watching it, I was like, wow, and then I was like, this is a little much, and then I was like, God, but it's so good. Like, just
You
the
can't
stages
not.
of grief. It was just really
Oh,
relentless.
it had us for the ride.
Yeah.
But in our opening contest, it was Goldust with Marlena taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who has decided that all women want him,
Uh,
as was declared by the promo that they gave beforehand, which was
girl,
altogether a little confusing. But it is,
completely.
yeah. So it essentially just goes into like, uh, just Hunter being like thinking he's better than everyone, and then he's like, because I am, and that women just innately want to be with
They're
him. Blah,
obsessed
blah.
with me.
Right.
Like,
But that wasn't the confusing part because like we know he's an arrogant twat. Like that's not news. Like,
we know that's
but
you
what
know
was confusing is like then they go into like why Goldust is like involved, and it like they're like, is it to defend his honor or like the honor of his wife? Is it to get the like championship, or is he just playing like a ruse, like his most like his biggest performance? And I was like, what?
because
Wait,
they brought up the Jerry the King
queer thing.
calling queer thing, which they bleeped this time, which was crazy. Like, they
Right.
bleeped out the word queer, which I was
On
like,
the
okay, so
pay-per-view, but on live TV, they
live
just
TV
went
fine.
for it. Right.
Um Crazy. And then so then they were like, it or is this with Marlena the most elaborate ruse of all time? And you're like, over, which was also hysterical because it was them like green screened over like a Hollywood sign,
Oh
and like
yeah.
Goldust like longingly reaching for it. And like I was
Uh,
like, are you saying that their marriage is a sham because he might not prefer women, but
right.
somehow that has to do with him
Going for
wanting
the
to fight
Intercontinental
Triple H,
Championship?
and it's actually a ruse to get the Intercontinental Championship? And I was like, I I just
The
that
water
doesn't
is murky.
murky, murky.
Like,
I can't see. I don't know where I am.
mm-mm.
The current is strong and confusing. There is a riptide. I don't know what is
No,
happening.
literally, like I was like with this storyline all the way. It made sense in my head up
Completely.
until this promo. I was like, obviously, I was like, Triple H has the title, put his hands on this man's wife. Done. Done,
Now
done,
I'm
done.
gonna take it from you because ew.
I'm gonna get revenge. for my wife, and then I'm gonna take your title. Like
Yeah.
that's duh. Right.
One plus
I was
one.
right there with it. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden they gave us this like convoluted promo where I'm just like, is he acting because he's really gay? Does he care about his wife? Does he just want the title? Like, I was like, what is like, what? What?
Very confusing. Didn't need to be that
No, not at
stretch.
all. And then we like it just gets further like I don't know, further confusing. That's not how I want to say that. It just
Hit
it
or be
just
hitting.
right,
Hit
hit or
or
be
be
hitting.
hitting.
um it just gets more confusing when Hunter makes his entrance because he's accompanied by just some random dude who apparently is Curtis Hughes, who or Mr. Hughes. All I know is it is just a very large black man dressed up like a blues brother. And like that's all we know about him. And this is the first time he's accompanying him. No, they were never alluded to. There was never like a cut to them talking backstage.
Nope.
There was like nothing. This man
No
just
conversation.
showed up.
And it wasn't even like, is he maybe his coach now? Or like is he
Right.
asking? But it was like this is his new they like said some weird
Butler. They kept calling him the
butler.
butler.
And
And
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
this is
I think not. I was
like
like, I don't know what he's giving, but it's not Jeeves. So like
it's
what?
no, swear to God, I'm asking, but it's not for Jeeves. Like I so
Lost.
confusing. And like
Lost.
where did we get Butler from this? Like the people who attend ringside are like companions,
Managers,
partners,
valet.
managers, whatever, not the butler who is dressed in like a three-piece suit and a hat. Like
And I think it's because it's supposed to go back to like Hunter being like an
aristocrat.
aristocrat, like, but like I almost said aristocrat.
I almost did
Like I
for
was like,
and being an
wait a minute.
aristocrat.
I was like, we are Siamese, if you please. Anyway,
The only aristocrats that matter are
uh,
those are Duchess and her children. That's
right,
it.
right, right, absolutely. So just confusing. I feel like they made it confusing at like the last hour. Like it just
And why?
and why? And why? Because it all made sense. He has
Because
the
also,
title, he
yeah,
touched his wife, I'm getting revenge, like,
and
and
I
I'm
will
gonna take
take
your
your
title.
toy.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it made sense. I understood the who's fighting, why do we care? Like I all of the
The
answers
who, what, why, where, when was clear.
was clear. And then all of a sudden it just wasn't. And you're like,
And if you think
why
about
would
this,
you do that at the pay-per-view?
because that's what I'm saying. Do they play those promos on like the screens there,
Yes.
correct? Imagine you're like in a crowd of 60,000 people. You're trying to like make your way to your seat, got your hot dog and your soda, your popcorn or whatever, your nachos, and like people are talking, and you're like watching this promo and you're like, wait, what did he say? Like,
Right.
imagine how confusing it was to be there, and then you're like, wait, what? Like, I don't,
Right.
because at
Mm-mm.
least we listened to it like in silence. We were just like, I can't
Yeah.
imagine witnessing that in the Alamo Dome and being like,
I don't
what did
really
he just?
get what's going on here. I
Yeah,
don't
but
really
like,
know.
say la vie. I mean,
And clearly Goldust was over it because he just
love
ran
it.
right down the aisle before
Yeah,
Hunter could even get to the ring, starts attacking him, and like I don't know what it was with the ref in this one, but he said anything
no
goes.
holds barred.
Anything goes.
Whatever.
Goldust takes the steel steps from the outside and just drops them on Triple H. Just
In
like
front of the ref.
just
Always like
haphazardly
this.
just drops them. Yeah, literally, he's just like standing there like kicking his legs. Like he's
He's like, let him fight.
no,
Whatever.
literally. And then like there was just like multiple occasions where like both of them could have been disqualified.
Hmm.
Like there was like at one
Several.
point where they were outside of the ring for like a really long time and just
Yeah,
like
like
nothing was happening.
5 whole
Not even a
minutes.
count, not even like Earl was on another planet. I don't know
Which
what
I
he can't
love, honestly. Like Earl was literally just like,
literally
let go,
go
let
do
him
what you
fight.
will, do what you
Whatever.
will.
But somebody this, that, chirp, chirp, chirp. Just let him fight. Love
Uh
to see it.
oh, Jerry has a quite a one-liner during
Uh,
this one. He comments on Marlena's outfit, which is stunning, by the way. It's got like a
gorgeous.
It's like a gold kind of like dress. It's got cutouts on like the
Cutouts.
side with like a pearl strap.
Yeah, pearl strap, big like chunky pearl strap, and then it almost had like a textured like part that like kind of wrapped around the cutout and like went over her
Mm-hmm.
butt, and it was just like really stunning. And I couldn't tell if that part was actually see-through. I was like trying to decide if it was
Or if it
actually
was like
like
a
mesh.
sheer or like a
Yeah, or it was like just textured print. I could not decide, but either
mm,
way, stunning.
absolutely stunning. But he goes, I love that dress. It brings out the bust in her. Best in
Oh,
her.
oh, I meant best.
Right. Jerry.
Bust. We went with bust. Brings out the bust in her.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jerry's best episode, I'm not gonna lie. There was
No,
like a
not at
few where
all.
Xavier and I were literally just like just
Jerry.
looked at each
No,
other like,
literally, there were moments where we were just like, stop.
ah,
Just stop. What
no.
also needs to be stopped is these middle of the match interviews that they have with random people in the crowd.
Oh my God,
Um,
what was this?
it
This was
happened
so
twice.
weird.
During this match, they cut away to apparently some like really famous no, I'm sorry, country music star,
Yeah.
Colin Ray.
I'm literally like,
Connor Ray, Colin
Colin
Ray.
Ray,
I don't
which
know.
so sorry to Colin or Connor or
Right. Even
Mr. Ray.
I
So
don't care.
sorry.
I don't care who you're interviewing.
Swear.
Stop in the middle of the match.
Middle of the match,
Stop
where
that.
Goldust is giving Triple H the beatdown of a lifetime that is fueled by revenge, like just
Right.
violent revenge,
I'm
breaking his
here
knee
for
little by
all
little.
of
I'm
it.
in it. And they're like, all right, let's cut to who I'm pretty sure was Aldo Montoya, just not wearing a mask.
Right.
And they were using
Honestly.
his given name. And they were like, yeah, like let's interview Colin Ray. And we were like,
Who?
and then they had him sing. He was singing. They're like, can you sing us a little something?
A little ditty. And
A
you're
little
like,
ditty. And we're like, can we
no.
watch?
No.
This is
Yes.
the Royal Rumble. What are we doing?
Not rumbling royally, that's for damn sure.
Swear,
Like we're out here just interviewing this man. I
girl.
was like, sir, I don't care about this man. I don't even know who this man
Oh,
is.
I
And even if I
know.
cared who the person was, just wait till the match is over and then do a little segment. Like do
Something,
a little, you know what
something.
I mean?
Oh,
Like
or even before the Royal Rumble even starts, little guess who's in the crowd today? Like they do it like a
100.
hockey game or a
Oh,
basketball game or
literally.
something.
Well, yeah, they show the celebs out
Yeah,
here.
quick little boop 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 boop.
And then like they do it again later and like I'm later, it's just some girl who saved her babysitting money to come watch the match. That was it. That was it. That was the whole interview, was that she
And
saved her babysitting money to buy a ticket. I was like, bitch, that's called working. We
that's
all
what we
do it.
do. Yeah,
That is it. We all
we
work
work,
somewhere
accrue
to pay.
income, pay for stuff. That's all. But they made it sound like she donated her kidney
Like she
to
was an
like
American hero. I was
swear, like
like,
she Ahmed Johnson has her kidney. Like that's what they made
right,
it sound like. And
honestly,
they're like, tell everyone what you did to get here. And she was like, I
I
saved my babysitting
babysat.
money from the summer. And they were like, okay.
Great. And then there was
What
like
a sib.
a thing at the end where he was like, "Oh, like she came all the way from Alaska." And I was like, "Okay, way to bury the most interesting part, first of all.
What is
And
what?
second of all, I still don't care. I
I still
still don't care."
I still don't need to see it in the middle of a match. I don't. I'm sorry. Again, do a little expose on her where they like interview her before she even gets in. Like she's outside and she's like, I'm about to go in. I came all the way from Alaska on my
Right.
babysitting money. Like the people.
Show her waiting in line, whatever. Like what
So
it was not in the middle of a match.
and then if you're gonna like have it before she even gets in there, and then if you want to say like, and there she is now, just have her wave real quick.
That's
That
it.
would have been cute. So
That's it.
cute. What are we
2
doing?
seconds. I don't need to know, like, I don't need to watch this like 16-year-old stumble over like her
She was so
babysitting money.
nervous. Oh, it was so
I,
sad.
I
She was petrified. Poor
Nobody
girl.
wanted it. Move on.
No.
Speaking of nobody wanted it, so we get to a point in the match where Triple H has the upper hand. Goldust is down like in the corner, and he goes and grabs Marlena, who has jumped up on the apron to distract the referee because Triple H's new butler had given Triple H the Intercontinental Championship. So to distract the referee further, or sorry, to distract Hunter really from
Mm-hmm.
actually using the title, she jumps up on the apron, and of course, he takes the opportunity to assault her
Oh my
and
god.
just starts kissing her on the apron, and she just like falls backwards, and it's like just
yeah.
literally.
And the way that Jerry the King is like, she's kissing him, and everyone was like, Hunter literally grabbed her by like the hair and like
Right.
yoinked her head back and just stuck his tongue in her mouth. Like,
Right.
and he was like, he's kissing her, like Goldust better not see. And it was like, Goldust better not see because he is assaulting his wife. Like Triple H is assaulting his wife. What just
No,
I
listen.
Okay.
Jerry is like the friend that goes to jail just because he knows and doesn't say anything. You know? Like, you know what I
But
mean?
does he though? Does he really
knows
not say
he
anything?
knows the crime, but doesn't report it. Well, he's not gonna say anything to his homie, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. True. I thought you were like, he's not gonna snitch, and I was like, I like really think he would though.
No. Yeah, no. I
And
just
I
like,
really think he would.
yeah, but like
he's an accessory
to a crime. Like,
Okay.
I feel like
Yes.
that is just
He's not
like
stopping anybody.
no. He's not
Okay.
throwing on his hero hat and doing anything.
Yep.
So we're getting toward like the conclusion of the match. Goldust is about to win. He has Triple H in the pinning predicament when Hughes pulls Triple H's whole body out from under the ring. And then which allows Triple H to get the pedigree and the win, thus retaining the title. And Jerry sticking his foot in his mouth once again when he's referring to Marlena, who's like, they cut to her on the outside of the ring just like wiping off like her like smudged makeup from this like assault, and he's like, you belong to Hunter now. And we were just like, ugh.
To the victor goes the spoiled was literally his word. Like, you belong to Hunter now.
And I was
what
like, what kind
is
of
this
ass back? Like, listen, I know it's 1996, but we're not so far back in history.
It's not
that
the
we're
50,
out
it's
here
not
just
1956.
we're not like exchanging like women as like a currency.
Like, they
as,
didn't
like,
duel for the honor of her hand. Like, what
right.
is
Like,
this?
I was like, I know it's a long time ago, but it's not that
That long ago.
Like, all right, like they
Because
had
like
credit cards and could vote. Like, what are
they had giant TV screens showing them what was happening in the ring so they could sit in the nosebleeds comfortably. Like, we weren't bartering women
right.
for physical strength, like using physical strength to win your pride. Like, that's not
a thing anymore.
what was happening here. And this match made me so mad because Goldust, and maybe I don't know, maybe like I have surprise, have a moral compass, had no idea, but I like
news
flash. Goldust, what I literally wrote, oh my god, like Goldust is kicking Triple H's ass. Like, literally, I said honestly, Goldust is beating Triple H's ass. Like, Goldust had the upper hand the whole time. The whole time. Like, assaulting. At one point, because he drops the stairs on him, and then he has that like half piece of stairs. He picks him up by the knee.
Oh.
Goldust picks up Triple H by the knee and drops his knee on the steel stairs.
Yeah.
Dead. Like,
dead.
Broken leg. Like, you are just, and he still won. Like, Triple H still won. It made me so mad with this guy who we've never heard of, never seen. We really aren't even still sure what his role is or why he's there.
Right.
And he somehow is instrumental
and him picking up the victory.
him winning. And I'm just like, why? Like, it just makes me so mad.
Yes.
Oh, I just got so angry because like, and I know Triple H is gonna go through a rebrands, and we're like, love him so much, like, and that's fine, like, love to see, but like right now he makes me
worst.
So mad, like, just so.
Oh, but he's good at that. He's good at like making
and I
you
respect
hate him,
it.
and like he's gonna go through this like arch where you like him again, and then you're gonna hate him again, and like, but like I've always viewed Triple H like the character, like he's just a better villain. Like, he's just better at getting heat. Like, there's just something about his face that makes you want to hit him.
Yes. As Vince McMahon would say, maybe it's his prominent proboscis, but
Mm,
I get it. Like,
absolutely.
I respect it. Like, when I say that, I'm not like, I want horrible things to happen. Like, I understand
No.
he's playing a character. His
Right.
character makes me so angry. Like,
No, rage.
so.
Makes me
But
rage.
this whole episode, I was like filled with rage. Like,
Mm.
we'll get there. But I was just
Yeah.
like, like things kept happening, and I was like,
What? No,
I think at
literally.
one point I literally screamed, I hate it here. Like, I think,
And there were multiple points where like you were just taking like deep breaths. We were just like,
yeah.
we were just like, like
And
just
Xavier like
composing yourself.
knew what was happening, and he's watching me, and like he's like, well, isn't that crazy? And I was just like, I
Isn't that crazy? Like
isn't it?
literally going to a spiral.
I swear. I swear. Thank God. I have to say, also, thank you guys so much. Not one person spoiled a single aspect of this episode for me. It was shock after shock after
Hmm.
shock. Like, it was just insane. So,
Love that. Love that. Thanks, guys, for
thank you.
keeping it a secret. So right after that match, we get a couple throughout the night they pepper in some backstage promos of Royal Rumble participants.
Mhm.
First, we hear from Bret Hart, who's backstage, and basically the gist is like, oh, they're calling me a marked man. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Like
Yep.
unfazed. And
Mhm.
then it cuts to Mankind, who is, of course, just absolutely batshit crazy. And he's like, oh, this is my opportunity to hurt a lot of people I don't like, and maybe even a few I do. And just starts,
Which,
and he's like, it's gonna be like a nice day. Um,
yeah,
which is
everyone's gonna have a nice day.
very, very, very on brand.
And I loved that promo, honestly, because it's like, it was good. It was just like short, sweet, and just like, I don't want to win anything. I literally just want to hurt people I don't like and a few that I do, and everyone's gonna have a nice day.
Right,
Like, mm,
right. Like,
love that guy. I
it's
hate him, but I love
no,
him.
no, no, right. Like it works so well. It's like it was short and sweet to the point, which is exactly what those were supposed to be. Two, it entirely encompassed who he is as a character.
Yeah.
And like three, he didn't stumble at all. Like it was good.
No,
Like
rocking back and forth on the floor.
it checked off all the boxes.
Love that.
So in our following match, we finally get Farouk taking on Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah. The
Uh
comeback.
amazing. And they give us the recap of everything that happened,
Mm-hmm.
which we needed because it's been a year in the making, essentially.
Swear to God, it's been so long.
Honestly, down to what am I saying? It's been like I want to say like the better part of like 9 months.
Gotta
Ugh.
be. At least it has to be.
Because it goes all the way back to Ahmed Johnson like winning the Intercontinental title when all of this went down, and that was like 3 or 4 champions
Yeah,
ago
like
now.
literally, like when we started this, Ahmed Johnson was the Intercontinental Champion. Somehow, then he was injured. There was a whole tournament, and then Mark Miro became the Intercontinental Championship, and then there was the coup with
Right.
Mr. Perfect and Triple H, and like now Triple H, like so much has happened, and I was like, oh my God, when we started this, Ahmed Johnson was the Intercontinental
Right.
Champion.
Yeah. 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 Which he
Crazy.
never lost. Never
Never lost.
lost. By the way, just had to give it up because he was gravely injured.
Yeah. Wow.
So, we got another really long-winded entrance from the Nation of Domination. I can't. I
Do
can't.
it.
There's too many members to keep track of, and for
They had
some
like more people
reason
than ever before.
they're letting the worst people on the mic do the song, and I can't. I can't.
Thank you for saying that.
It's
We all need to
horrible.
talk about it. Like it just
Because they're
acknowledge
not
it.
they're not in sync. It sounds clunky. It sounds awkward that it's like playing like the Nation of Domination, like repeating over and over again, yet they're like trying to like rap like over it, but not like in the moments in between them saying the Nation of Domination. No, it's like just straight over the entire thing. And you're
Yeah.
just like, I can't make heads or tails of what you're trying to like get at, and it's just like a cluster. Like I can't.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're trying to come across as like a solid just unit,
Mm-hmm.
all you need is the music, like playing the Nation of
Oh,
Domination.
absolutely. And
Like, and
just
it's
and
just like you
March,
all
you
walking out. Yeah, like I don't need the little like fanfare court jesters in the front trying to like also do some like
no.
flourishes. Like just if you're trying to be this like
unified
an
front.
organism. Yeah, like we don't need all the
The who's its
stuff.
and
Like
what's
it's
its galore.
yeah, thank you. It's the like the intimidation of just being like
Like a
that.
wall of humanity, like would be.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So yeah, agree. It's just it's too much and I don't get
Mm.
it.
And then Ahmed Johnson makes his entrance and he is just in it immediately. He is all
Love that
over
about him.
Farouk for the better part of the first half of the match. He literally runs into the ring, hooks Farouk by the head, and just starts punching him into the mat for like a minute straight. Like
A good
you,
minute,
you
yeah.
think he's like gonna like give like let go and like do something else? Nope, just holds onto the head and just like keeps
Bop
holding
bop
on to
bop.
his head and is just nailing him the entire time. And you're like, "Oh, he means it."
It
Um,
was so good to see him again.
yeah, honestly, because it's been so long, like
So
so
long.
long. Like we've seen him, but like in a match, long time. Ahmed Johnson came out this week dumpy and all. Sir had his
Whoa.
whole ass out once again. And like, I think it's just a thing. I think it's just for I'm sorry, Ahmed Johnson's just like MO at this point.
Yeah, he
He's like,
said I
I
got
know
it.
I got it. Right.
And it was so prevalent to the point that Jerry the King actually said something.
Oh yeah. He's like, what is these like thong tights? Like, what is
Yeah, like
this?
he was like, what are these like little tights he's got on? And I was like, and I said, he sees it, you see it, we all see it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing we're all seeing. Like,
Amen.
it was good to see him as God intended.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
So this match is super intense, very physical. There's one point
Crazy.
where Ahmed Johnson's just like whipping Farouk with a leather belt, just
A leather belt. Yeah,
over
Farouk
and
came
over
out with a
again.
leather belt and Crush I think is the one that like was
Tosses it
not in the
into the
ring
ring.
and tossed it into the ring and Ahmed Johnson said thanks and uses it instead and again referees were like okay. Like
Oh,
I mean
absurd.
again love to see it but just over and over again relentlessly whipping Farouk with a belt not one time not two times like at least 7 to 12 times like a lot and they were just like
A lot.
cool they were like ooh look a prop like nobody cared
Honestly. And then so there don't it wasn't all Ahmed Johnson. So Farouk did get some
true
of his licks in. He ended
yo
up
he
doing a
really did
backbreaker on a chair that was like propped like up.
yep
And then he ends up hitting Ahmed Johnson with a chair also, furthering like, where are the referees?
swear to god
Where?
swear to god
Because he like fully just like picks up the chair and swings it at him. And then Farouk is like yelling on the outside to like his little like
minions
posse. He's like, "Oh, I told you. I told you." Like basically just like he has Ahmed Johnson down or seemingly down. Ahmed
mm-hmm.
Johnson just squats in between
Dude
like Farouk's legs and just deadlift, like just absolutely squats this like 300-pound man up like it's nothing and back body drops him.
literally insane like just because they're like a roughly the same size and
Uh-huh.
that's gigantic like they're
Right.
huge men like
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
muscular so tall and he literally from laying down somehow gets up and then just lifts him with just his legs like
Right.
on his shoulder like it was actually insane how he
Right.
did that
Uh
just ridiculous
Absolutely bonkers. But the match doesn't last too much longer than that because after that point, every member of the nation starts running into the ring. Thus, the referee finally is like, okay, enough, disqualification.
yeah
So,
we can use everything except a living body like
right,
everything else is fair game but another human being sets foot in this ring you're out
right, game over.
yeah
So Ahmed Johnson wins technically, but it's not the win he's looking for.
yeah
So he basically just runs through most of the nation, in which
yeah
case Farouk starts hightailing it like out of there, and Ahmed goes to like chase him down, and another one of the members of the nation like comes up behind him and like strikes him. And Ahmed Johnson's like, I've had enough of this. So he takes his happy little ass all the way to the French announce desk, picks him up, and absolutely like picks him up and like spins him and drops this man just straight through the table. Didn't move the monitors. Didn't even I don't even know if the French announce team like stood up all the way before he even got, but he went through this
Through this
table.
all the monitors fall on him, because also, yeah, there was a French announcing table in addition to the Spanish announce table, and I was like, you know what, give the Spanish announce table a break, let's just leave
Honestly.
the French one. But like Ahmed Johnson literally took like the top of the steel steps, or like the steel steps, and brought them over to the table,
Mm-hmm.
and like slammed this guy so hard that he even lost balance and fell forward, like, and was like falling into the
Right.
table. But like the table snapped immediately, like
Oh,
folded in. This guy, I'm like, this guy's dead. Like this guy
right.
is literally, we just watched a murder. And like all the monitors fall onto him. I
The
didn't even,
best.
it happened so fast, I didn't realize that he actually spun him. Like I
Mm-hmm.
thought he dropped him like
No, he like
face
picks him
first.
up like he's gonna just do like a regular like power bomb, and
Yeah.
then just like picks him up and like just like spins him so that he lands like flush with the table.
Yeah. It
Crazy.
was, and then, but it was so crazy. Xavier and I were like, play it again. Oh my God, play it again. They're
No,
ready to play it
literally. I
again,
was
play it
like,
again,
you play that right now. I
play it
needed it
again
a
right
second
now.
time.
And thank God they played it like 6 more times from 6 different angles.
It
And I was
was
like,
it
yes,
was
yes.
beautiful. It was
It was, it
beautiful.
was so good.
It just like the impact of the table just absolutely like shattering was just
Because
so
you know,
good.
they like get thrown to the table. Like, yes, they always break or they whatever, but like it
It was something
just
it was like
like,
instantaneous. There was just something
yes.
about like the way that the table was just like, no, and it just exploded. Like
You would have thought there was no table at all. Like it was just like
floating
two, like
monitors at
three
this point.
pegs like
Right.
holding up a tablecloth. It was like
Yeah.
the velocity that I don't even,
It was amazing. It was
it
absolutely
was
amazing.
phenomenal.
And it's not done
Vive la
because
France, you
we'll
know?
we'll get to what happens later during the Royal Rumble, but
G-
Ahmed Johnson did not get the win he wanted, and that's a problem.
yeah.
You don't wait nine
I,
months to not get a satisfying victory. Sorry.
uh, this is my, everyone I love in the WWF right now. I'm like, can they just
Get a win.
win a clean victory? I'm so sick. I'm so mad. If I was them, and like we'll get to it, but people do get heated at one point at the end.
Hmm.
They're like, "Are seriously? Like we're
Right.
really
Is
not
this what we're
one."
doing?
Yep.
So after that grudge match, we get a little another one of those backstage interviews from Terry Funk, who this is your first time being introduced to Terry Funk. Terry Funk
Yes.
is of the, you know, there's many Funks wrestling. Mainly the most famous one is his father Dory Funk. And yeah, he's just a wrestler that's been around a long time, especially popular in the market that they're in because
Hmm.
he came from a Texas family, born and raised in Texas. He actually goes and says Texas bred, Texas fed, like
Which
he's
I
ready for
love,
it. Yeah, I
which
was just like,
I
that's
want to use
amazing.
forever. Bread and
Right.
fed is great.
Um, so we will see some more of Terry Funk in the Royal Rumble match. But first, we have Vader taking on The Undertaker.
We also had a Farouk interview before. Was that before that? Where he like
Oh,
grabbed the
it
people.
was. I'm
Girl,
sorry,
because
I'm
I literally
yelling.
just put Farouk interview went crazy.
Oh, I forgot because they're doing like two at a time. So, like, go ahead, take off the Farouk. Go ahead.
I don't even know how to describe this, but basically they went backstage. So this is shortly after the disqualification, and Farouk is there with his team and his little squadron of whatevers, and
Hmm.
he's like livid. I don't even know who was interviewing him. I have no idea because he just grabs the mic immediately. Because Clarence Mason tries to say something first, and he just grabs the mic and he's like, "You get up here! You get up here!" And he grabs first of all the one woman who is there who went
Right.
down with them, don't explain who she is, why she's there, whatever. Grabs her, grabs some other guy. I told you, you have to back me up. Like, he
Don't you
is
ever leave me high and dry like that again. You defend me till
screaming.
your last breath. And I was like, you need, you need, you need her to defend you to your last breath. I was like, sir, she's wearing a dress and heels. Like, what is she?
She's wearing a leather bustier. You think she's getting in there? Her hair is done.
Right.
Everyone else is wearing a
Her
suit.
face is beat. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? She got a
What?
full beat. You think she's going in there scrapping for
Yeah,
you?
she has jewelry on. Like, what are you
You haven't even
talking
told
about?
us her name.
Who is this?
And she's
Like,
supposed to lay her life on the line for you?
swear, like, what are we talking? And he was giving like trigger warning, like verbally abusive father, like
Mm,
really
very Joe
aggressive,
Jackson. Very Joe Jackson.
very, and like you guys need to sing, like really scary,
Yeah, yeah.
like
It was a lot.
shaking, screaming, sweating, grabbing, pushing, and just freaking out. And then they were like,
Hmm.
and then it just ended, and they were like, well, Farouk seems pretty upset. I guess we'll see him later in the Royal Rumble. And we were like,
I guess we
should we
will.
do like a wellness check on the Nation of Domination? Because like they
They're
might
not. They're
need to
unwell.
submit
That's
some
for sure.
anonymous complaints or something, like
Honestly.
really, really
Honestly.
scary stuff.
Amen. So, on to the next one. We have Vader taking on The Undertaker. This match
Woo!
has been a few weeks in the making, not too long. Uh, it was alluded to that Jim Cornette and Vader are no longer in cahoots.
Which I guess like they were saying like because Jim Cornette got
Chokeslammed
tombstoned,
or tombstoned? I don't remember
chokeslammed,
what it
one
was.
something.
Oh
Got
no,
by
it
the
was tombstoned.
Undertaker.
He was tombstoned.
Regardless, like he got on the wrong side of the Undertaker and paid for it with probably his life. And so I don't know. They were alluding that like that was the reason, but it's like why would you give up like the only person you have left managing and someone who's an excellent wrestler like just because why? You don't want
No,
to face
yeah,
it. I
I
mean, I
don't
get
know.
it, but like
I don't know what's up. Maybe I don't know if Jim like needs to be off television for a little bit
for a bit.
or
But yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
They were questioning, they're like, is Vader a free agent? And I was like, that would be crazy.
like Jim Cornette's going the way of Sonny, and it's like who do you have? Like who are you managing?
Who was noticeably absent from this pay-per-view, by the way, Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the managers like were not there. Like I or like people I was expecting to be there. Like we said Honky Tonk Man, who was
Oh
doing the
yeah.
PR search, not there.
Honky
Not even
Tonk
a
Man, who's
glimmer
been there for weeks, just hooting and hollering.
at
Not
the yeah, at
even
the
a
announce table.
mention of his search. Not even a
Nope.
mention.
Not even a like wonder if Honky Tonk Man is considered nothing. Not a thing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Uh,
But yeah, super weird.
super weird. So the match begins. Vader looks a little scared in
As
the
he should.
opening bits of this match, just because the aura of the Undertaker is so just intimidating that like
Love it.
even it'll shake even Vader, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So the matches, it's great. It's they're very evenly matched as far as like size and strength goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a lot of like back and forth. Undertaker goes for old school, doesn't work, just lands on the
Mm-mm.
yam bag. Poor guy. Um like
I,
I'm sorry.
I have never heard that in my life.
Oh, yam bag? I've only heard it from watching wrestling. So
The yeah.
that didn't
Wow.
work out for the Undertaker.
No. And it's funny, I said I was like, I feel like this never works out for him. And at the same time, Vince was like, it definitely misses more than it hits. Or he said something like that, and I was like,
Mhm. Thank
my
you.
son, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Vader goes up to the top rope at one point during this match, and Undertaker has a impressive power slam like counter because
Mm-hmm.
Vader's coming off of the top rope, and Undertaker grabs him and flips his entire body weight over,
Crazy.
dropping him on his back, which
Yep.
was amazing. We
So
do
good. get
get the Undertaker kicking out from the first Vader bomb, which is very impressive because most
So
people
good.
do not because he's
Mm-hmm.
flattened. But then
Girl.
the chaos of this match begins because Paul Bearer comes down and we're all hella confused.
Because because they mentioned him in the beginning of this match, like, which I should have known. I should have known
That would be like
because
foreshadowing.
yes, because Jerry the King was like, it just seems so strange to still to me to like not see the Undertaker with Paul Bear, and I literally was like, why would you bring him up? Like, I
No,
don't.
literally.
I was like, fine,
Don't
and now I'm
even.
upset because
Right.
I don't want to even think about him, and here it comes.
Here he
Here
comes.
it comes.
Just and he was everywhere. I've never seen Paul Bearer move so much in my life.
Ever.
Oh
In my
my,
life.
he gets like involved. At one point, the Undertaker like knocks Vader to the far side of the ring and then flips backwards and decks Paul Bearer.
Hot.
Absolutely decks him because he has not been able to get his hands on Paul Bearer the entire feud with Mankind. The
Yep.
entire feud. So from Paul Bearer turning on him at SummerSlam, King of the Ring,
Buried alive.
Buried Alive. No, Buried Alive was after.
Buried alive is after.
I think
Oh,
it's
when was
SummerSlam, the
that?
Boiler Room Brawl.
Correct. Yep.
So he has not been able to get his hands on Paul Bearer this entire time. And you almost like forgot about it because he's not in a feud with Mankind anymore. But then the
Yeah.
second he flipped over and decked Paul, I was like, finally.
Ugh.
Jerry does have a funny line where he's just like, just roll away. Just roll
Oh yeah,
away.
Paul. Just roll away, Paul. Just so terrible. What a
So
sin. But you knew this couldn't be the end of it. I was like, there's no way that he just like gets his 1-2 bop bop in front of Vader for some reason, and then like Paul Bear scurries away. It just couldn't. That just couldn't be it.
insanity. So, and then at one point, he like, has dealt with Paul enough that he has to go deal with Vader. And he has Vader set up on the outside of the ring area on one of the like steel grates to like essentially do like a splash. And Paul Bear comes by and yanks Vader out of the way, thus kind of like proving that they were in cahoots with each other. It was one thing for him to come out and just like be in the Undertaker's like way because they have pre-existing beef. So it could have been that it was just like Paul Bearer coming to just be a nuisance to the Undertaker.
Right.
Nah, not after he pulled him out of the way. And then Paul Bearer in just the greatest feat of athleticism I've ever seen Paul Bearer perform. He crawls up to the ring apron with the urn and then does like a double axe handle off of the ring apron, knocking the Undertaker in the back of the head, which allows Vader to get the Vader bomb and then the victory. And we are just standing there in awe because once again, Paul Bearer has just made the Undertaker lose. Just where does this man get off? How long is he going to do this for?
And then he just walks away arm in arm with Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know when the suffering ends.
Right.
I just want to know when I will be free. I literally was like, what did I write? I hate Paul Bear so bad in all
so
caps.
bad. So bad.
What are you doing here? I literally the fact that this was the Royal Rumble and this is making me more mad than anything else that happens. Like I can like I will think about this forever. I'm just so mad. What like because they're mentioning that like Vader might be a free agent. So what is like Paul Bear gonna manage Vader now? Like what is happening? Like what just
what a collection of freaks and geeks he's got.
I swear. And also I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? Why? Because you were like mad at him like one time. I'm literally so angry.
Listen.
It's unbelievable.
It's only gonna get worse.
How? Like how? Just
I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but it's only gonna get worse.
My boy, the Undertaker, deserves so much more than this. And I don't know why I feel so passionately about it. But it's like, how is this weasel, this human weasel who doesn't wrestle, has somehow finagled and outwitted the Undertaker time and time again, or betrayed him, or like he just
Mhm.
appears, and like the best wrestlers are afraid of him.
Mhm.
It's just so crazy, and it just, like, makes me so mad, and I know that one day I literally was like, "One day, Paul Bear,
One day,
one day he'll
literally
come to you."
just like shakily smoking a cigarette,
Swear
just
to God, I'm like,
one
"One
day.
day, Paul, yes, and it will be a sweet day for me. I can finally rest." Like, I'll be 86 years old, but it doesn't matter. I will wait. I hate him so
Oh my god.
much.
Yes.
Walking
So
arm in arm with Vader, what does that mean? I'm gonna lose my mind. Whatever.
oh, they leave like arm in arm. They're
La la la.
like skipping to their loop. They are absolutely about it. Um,
Ew.
so we're gonna have to see more on that because once again, the Undertaker is blindsided by this man
I
and
hate him.
has to deal with him on another level with another competitor.
I will see you in hell, Paul Bear. I will see
Amen.
you there, and
Mm,
I will
oh,
choke slam you.
I will choke
I will
slam you
train the rest of my life.
to get this done.
I can't. I'm so mad. Ugh.
So we have a couple more Royal Rumble promos from Stone Cold and the
Yeah.
British Bulldog. Stone Cold's
So
is
love
so
it.
funny. He's just
Yeah.
like I said he like sees the camera and he's like, "This is the problem with you guys. You're always where you shouldn't be." I was
It's
like,
so
"I don't
good.
have anything to say to nobody until I dump 29 other people over this rope."
In
I
the
was like,
garbage. Yeah.
"Yeah, in the
Take out
garbage, whatever."
29 pieces of trash. That was
Oh
what it
yeah, that's what
was.
he said. And then he's like, "And that's it. Cut," and just starts yelling "cut" as he's walking away. He's like, "That's all you're getting from
Bye,
me."
girl.
And then it cuts to the British Bulldog who's just like entering the building, which makes me feel like they kind of like caught him off guard. But it's just like a general like he goes and asks like the people who are watching him enter the building, like who's gonna win the Royal Rumble, and they're all like cheering for him. And then he's like, "I'm gonna win because I'm bizarre," and just like walks inside. And I was like, that certainly was bizarre. Like that was
And
odd.
I was just like, of all the casts of the whole cast of characters in the WWF, you are bizarre.
Right,
We literally call Goldust the bizarre one.
right.
It's not you, sweetie. Like, because to me it was like wholesome. He was in like a double denim outfit
Oh,
with like the
fully.
shirt tucked in, and he's like wheeling his little suitcase, and he's like, "Who's gonna win? The bulldog." Blah blah blah. And then he's
La,
like,
la,
"I'm
la.
gonna win because I'm the most bizarre." And we were like, I just, I don't.
Is that
Okay,
supposed to be like British? You're the most British. That's for sure.
you're the most English. What?
Right?
Like, it's just okay. I don't. And then I was like, well, maybe now you are the most bizarre because that didn't make any sense. But sure.
right. Yeah, and then we sent him on his merry way.
Yeah.
And then we get a six-man tag match, which I'm not honestly not gonna go into too much more other than
Yeah.
to say it did feature current WWE superstar Angel Garza's father, which is pretty cool. Nice little like tidbit. And it featured six wrestlers from the like AAA organization, which is a big organization in Mexico, still around to this day. Um, my only like 2 cents is like the match was great. They were chill. It
Yeah.
was fine. My only gripe is it was once again like an unadvertised
Yeah.
match on a pay-per-view
Yeah.
that was all like was pretty stacked. So it just kind of felt like very random and very out
Yeah.
of place. And I understand them doing it in the sense of AAA obviously gave them wrestlers to use for the Royal Rumble. They're in
Mhm.
an area that is very close to Mexico. Obviously, in San Antonio, Texas, they're right at the bottom.
Yep.
And I get it. Like from a business standpoint, like to an extent, I understand.
Mhm.
From a cohesive, like this is the show from A to Z. Like I don't get where that really like fit in, and it just kind of felt like when you're forcing a jigsaw puzzle like piece into where it
Right.
doesn't really fit.
Totally. And my thought too was, and I mean this, like, I mean zero offense. I mean this in the nicest way possible. My one thought was like, did they do it, like, for people who are actually physically there? Because it was right before the Royal Rumble for them to, like, be able to be like, "Well, I don't really know anybody in this, like, I could, like, go take a break, like, go to the bathroom, go get
Mm,
concession, go whatever," like, because it is long. And, like, the Royal Rumble,
yes.
like, you're there for the Royal Rumble, like, you're not missing the Royal Rumble to, like, go do any of those things. So, I was
Maybe
like, did they do that right before it? Because it's, like, extremely entertaining, but you don't have, like, stake in that game. You don't really know any of those people, so you're
right
like, "Well, if I was gonna do a bathroom break, like, I'll do it now," for, like, the people who are, like,
in
actually
attendance,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Maybe that's why?" Like,
I
'cause
mean,
you
probably.
know,
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't wanna be
who
like,
knows?
that's the reason, but, like,
No,
it
of
just
course
it
not,
it
yeah.
just felt, like, very I don't know, it just felt out of place. Like, it just felt like it didn't fit with the rest of the card, and it's just like, why are we getting unannounced matches on a pay-per-view?
Yeah,
You know
kinda
what I
random.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
I
it
will give
was
it up for the announce team because they did a really good job calling the match.
mhm.
And,
And it
like,
was it
talking
was
about the
entertaining,
people
like, it
yeah, it
was
was so
great.
good, yeah, just, like, random and being like, "Wait, who is that? I don't understand, like, are they what is this about?" Like, it was
Right.
yeah.
But just for the sake of the podcast, I'm not gonna go into it too much just because
No, yeah.
we don't know them, you don't know them,
Yeah.
they didn't know them. It was an entertaining match that was just kind of filler. Um, but now we get to the yeah, I wanna say main event. It's not technically the main event, but it is,
But
it's the name of the pay-per-view.
yeah, I was gonna say.
So we have the 97 Royal Rumble match. Ah, I love the Royal Rumble so much. It is my favorite thing. It is
It's
my
so hard to
favorite thing.
describe how it is because I don't believe I've ever seen a Royal Rumble match,
No,
unless
probably
we've
not.
maybe watched, like, a one-off or
Mhm,
something. It's hard to describe the emotions you go through watching it for the first time because, like,
mhm.
I could not believe, 1, how fast 90 seconds
Goes.
happens. Yeah, I was like, "Well, they gotta at least have a minute," and then it'd be like, 10, 9. I'd be like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean? Like,
Oh,
they
it's
just"
Fast and Furious, baby.
it and I loved it. Like, it's,
Mhm.
like, the thrill of it, but I was on the edge of my seat, my heart was pounding, I was sweating, I was biting my nails. I could not believe what was happening. I was surprised by some things, like, not surprised, but I literally the way that I wrote
Every little
single
facet down.
every single I was I was like a journalist. Like, I was literally like,
I love it.
shocking.
I love
It
it. I
was
love the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite thing. It is my favorite thing.
it can't not be. Like, it's just
It's
somehow so chaotic and unhinged, but, like, you
there's
can
a structure
follow
to
it, but
it,
there's a structure. Yes, like, it's just really well
and you get,
done.
like, some, like and I just love the way you can, like, either you can start storylines in the Royal Rumble, you can progress storylines in the Royal Rumble. Like, there's a lot of, like, little moments that happened in this that were, like little clues as to what's, like, going to be going on next, or, like,
Mhm.
just progressing a story that we started earlier in the pay-per-view. Just great stuff. First, like, a couple of moments I would like to or a couple instances I wanna call out before we get to, like, the finale of all of this, is Razor Ramon gets eliminated in 2.5 seconds, essentially, which
Thank
was
God.
hilarious, and I
So
loved
fabulous.
it.
So fabulous. It literally eliminated immediately. Like, so great.
So great. We got to see the return of Hillbilly Jim as he supported
Oh,
on his two boys,
we were
Phineas.
so hyped when Phineas came out and they were playing first of all, Return of the Banjo music, we hadn't heard it in a minute,
Oh,
and the return
amazing.
of Hillbilly Jim, best night of my life.
Oh,
Best night of my life.
hmm. So absolutely amazing. So Stone Cold enters at number 5, just to make note of. So he's in the Royal Rumble match for the long haul.
Mhm.
We also get nothing like too crazy going on until Ahmed Johnson eliminates himself chasing
Mhm.
after Farouk. So Ahmed Johnson's like in the match, but like relatively early,
He's the
and
second
he's
one,
the
yeah.
second one in. So he's like minding his own business, and then you'd barely see Farouk on the aisle like
You barely hear
entryway.
the Nation of Domination music.
Bam! He just throws himself over the top rope
Gone.
and just runs after him.
Yeah, so Farouk was supposed to enter fourth, and then Ahmed Johnson literally chases him out of the building.
And
Bye,
then
girl.
Phineas goes fourth
He's like,
instead.
oh, okay, I'll go then.
And then another fun little tidbit is Mil Mascaras, who's like a famous wrestler from Mexico,
Mhm.
accidentally eliminates himself because he wasn't paying attention.
I know,
Well,
like, was that intentional or like he
no, I
legit
don't
made a
think so.
mistake?
I think he legit made a
Oh,
mistake.
I hate that because he was like so upset,
Yeah,
and everyone like booed, like it was a bad call.
yeah, because it was, yeah, he eliminates Cybernetico or one of the other AAA like wrestlers and
Yeah,
throws himself off the top rope onto him, but both of his feet touch the floor, so he gets eliminated. And you're
it
like,
was really
oh,
sad
buddy, don't do that.
because then the two refs had to come in and be like, bro, like
Fully, fully,
you,
fully,
and he was
fully.
like, what? It was sad, but yeah, people booed. People were really upset, like that he. But you know, mistakes happen. I thought maybe it was like a bummer, but it was like a cool way to go out. So I didn't know if it was like orchestrated. But then now that you're saying that,
Nah, I just didn't like. I think he just forgot the rules.
oh
Um,
no, what an angel.
honestly, so really, Stone Cold was like all over this match. This
Yeah,
match was very much like Stone Cold was like eliminating people, waiting for the next opponent, eliminating somebody, waiting for the
and
next
he would be
opponent
like,
on
"Come
several
on,
occasions.
bring him
Um,
in." Yep.
so like he was not lying when he said he was like here to throw some trash out. He was
Yeah,
really going for it.
and he did that he
Uh,
did.
Bret Hart enters at number 21, which was your pick. We do have a little moment where Owen accidentally
Yeah.
eliminates the British Bulldog because the Bulldog is trying to eliminate Steve Austin, and it looks like Owen is gonna go help him, but upon further inspection of the slow motion cam, it kind of just looks like he eliminated
Oh
him.
no. And this was right after the Bulldog had saved Owen from getting thrown out. So, like, adds a little extra sprinkle
Of
of
the betrayal.
nasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bulldog was livid, which also, this is so off topic. Bulldog didn't slick back his hair for this match, and he looked fabulous. Like, I was like,
Oh, it was
wow,
way better.
actually,
Yeah.
like, it looks so good like that. I was like, who's that? Like,
Right. All of a sudden, it's a brand new
introduce me. Like,
person.
yeah.
It goes from grease ball to like,
He had
like,
that almost like 80s or 90s like male love interest in a
mm,
rom-com
I
like
got you. I
movie,
got
like
you. I
that
got
kind of
you.
like
I
it
get
was
it.
fabulous. Wait, can we also really quickly talk about how Jake the Snake's python almost got murdered like 100
Oh,
times?
because they just left it in the ring. He like brings it
So
all the way to the ring instead of just
yeah,
like handing it to somebody, brings it all the way to the ring, just drops it. And then him and Steve Austin are fighting just around it.
it,
But like around it is generous. Like
yeah,
their foot kept hitting the bag. And I'm like, one of you is gonna stomp this snake. Like it's
yeah,
gonna be
like
bad.
because he went to like he got to the ring and he first of all he chucks it and like slides it and I guess like he meant to slide it like to the opposite corner of the ring and he didn't. Like it just sat in the middle, which first of all you could see it moving around the bag like hello, like what is going on? And Stone Cold and him were just wrestling like Xavier said, like just around it, and we kept going like, oh my god, like we any moment I was like this is going to
Mm-hmm.
be bad. And then a referee, thank God, comes and takes the snake out of the ring. And I was like, okay, thank God, amen. And then I think like Jake the Snake gets eliminated like very shortly after
Shortly
that.
after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna progress to the ending of this match and
Yeah,
how
because we could talk about so many things that happen, but like,
how wild the ending is.
I just like,
So the referees are busy dealing with Mankind and Terry Funk on the outside of the ring because they have both been eliminated and they are now just fighting each other on the
for
outside.
what?
So,
Why?
because they're
Whatever.
crazy.
So
So, both
annoying.
referees that are in play during this match are on one side of the ring. Bret Hart proceeds to eliminate Stone Cold Steve Austin on the opposite side of where the referees are. They do not see it at all. Stone Cold runs back into the ring, eliminates both the Undertaker and Vader, who are trying to eliminate each other, and then runs over, eliminates eliminates who was Brett working on? I don't know. Oh, Diesel, and then eliminates Bret Hart. And that's when the referees turn around and see that Bret Hart was eliminated by Stone Cold, thus winning the match. So technically, your prediction was wrong, but right?
Again, I ask, when does the torment end?
Because you were
When
so close.
does the torment end? Like, when does it end? Like, I just like, which again, so when Xavier and I were FaceTiming before we started, I was like, the thing that's so exciting about this is that like I don't really care that I'm wrong, like if I'm wrong, because like it's just insane. Like, because I'm like,
Right,
you just know that anything can happen. And I made a joke at one point. I was like, imagine Phineas Godwin takes this whole thing. Like, that would be crazy.
right.
Because he was also like smoking people. But I was just like, it like whatever, it doesn't matter. But like when Stone Cold got eliminated, I was like, oh my god, I freaked out. I
No,
was like, oh
was
my god,
bugging.
oh my, I was like, he did it, because I was like, now he just like, I can't even speak,
Right.
because the Undertaker and Vader and Diesel were still in there, which like whatever, fine. But I was like, I feel like Undertaker and Vader are gonna like Diesel's gonna go over and like knock him out or whatever. And I don't know. I was like, I feel like Bret has it in the bag. Like he's really over.
Mhm.
As soon as Stone Cold jumped back in that ring, I was like,
It's
it's Stone
over.
Cold. It's
Yeah.
Stone Cold. And I should have freaking known. And I was literally thinking about what I said, and I was like, I literally was like, he just like really hasn't been wrestling and like la la la. But he just lays in wait, Stone
That's
Cold sometimes, and takes you out
he's
when
the
you're least
rattlesnake.
expecting it.
That's what he
Yes.
calls himself.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like literally, he takes you out when you're least expecting it. Like he laying in wait, should have known. Just
Mm-hmm. It was
so shocking.
it
I
and
was
it
like,
and it was the best way for him to win, honestly. Like
yeah.
because it cements him as like just a piece of trash. You know what I mean? Like just does not care. Like
He is the trash that took out the trash.
fully. And I just loved that that was your prediction because of how this match ends
I know.
because he is the like because Brett is the one that gets eliminated and then has the reaction that he has after the match, which is totally justified. Totally
Justified.
justified.
Totally justified. I was like, every rep should be fired. I was like, I hate everyone here. I
He gets
literally,
in the he get what go ahead.
I was just gonna say when Stone Cold jumped back in, I think that's when I was like, I I hate it here. I literally was like, I hate it here. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. Like,
The stress, the
oh my
stress.
god. But yeah, dude, Bret Hart flips out. The crowd flipped out. Like the crowd behind the announce table was like
What?
booing them, screaming, like, and
The
Bret
whole
Hart was
nine.
just destroying everything physically, and then he went to the announce table and destroyed them all verbally. Like he went to Vince and was like, "Oh, so this is what we do here at the WWF. This is how you run things here." Like, or he said
At
something.
one point he goes, "Are you gonna do anything about that?" Like because like which is like blurring the lines of like the reality television. It's like it's known that Vince is the like owner, CEO, whatever, puppet master.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like we're supposed to know on he's just an announcer.
Yeah, he's just a guy. Yeah.
Right.
Oh
So
god.
that was kind of like a what are you doing? Because like Vince just didn't really like react at all.
I could
Uh
feel like his heart pounding. Like my heart was pounding, but I could feel like him be like,
what?
okay,
Uh,
like,
right. So he is livid understandably. Because now this is a second occasion where he has lost a world title opportunity to through no fault of his own,
yep. And he even beat up
essentially.
the refs. He
He
literally
did even beat
punched
up the
refs,
ref.
threw them out of the ring because he was like, "Are you freaking blind? Like, get it
Right.
together."
This
And
was not a good day for the refs because the Undertaker was also big mad after his match and also was just like flipping over tables and throwing chairs and like kicking the ropes. I was like, ooh.
when does the torment end? Because even Goldust and Triple H's match, and the Undertaker and Vader, and this match, like I'm just like, what?
When?
Hello?
When does it end?
When does it end? Because even like, and then JR was so funny. He goes up to the announce, Bret Hart's at the announce table screaming, and he's like, hello? Like, anything you do think does? And JR's like, well, I saw it. Like,
Right.
okay, class pet, calm down. But he was like,
Right.
I saw it just a case. That's bad refereeing right there. He goes, that's why there's two referees. Like, they're supposed to be on each side. And like, for some reason, they just like
Weren't
weren't looking.
there.
That's just bad reffing. And like, Jerry the King was like, stop complaining.
How many times
Like,
have you watched like a sports game where like the instant replay like shows something different than the ref like
yeah, but then we
said?
overturn the call,
Nah,
sweetie.
yeah,
Not
I don't know.
always, but
But
like, still, either way.
still.
So, like, I'm not mad because my prediction was wrong. Like, that's not. I'm mad because of just like
How the shystiness of how it
can't
went down.
I can't take it anymore. I'm just like, just let literally I am Earl at this point. Just like let the boys fight. Like, I don't know.
Honestly.
Let
So
them fight.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is your 1997 Royal Rumble winner. So he will
Girl.
go on to take on the winner of the following match.
You
I almost ruined it. I almost
almost
ruined
said
it.
it.
I almost said it. Take on the winner of the following match at WrestleMania. So this leads us into our main event, which is the hometown hero, Shawn Michaels, taking on Psycho Sid.
Mm-hmm.
We once again get a little recap of what's been going on between the two. We know, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's on board.
Yep.
I'm just assuming you're all like, yeah, we get it.
Yep.
So the match begins. It is super. It's great. This match is phenomenal.
It's so
There,
good.
there are moments where, one moment I found particularly hilarious is when Shawn Michaels like runs in, essentially like gets Sid onto knocked down onto the ground and just starts like like stomping him is what I called it. But it was
Mm-hmm.
very much like you usually see it in like, I don't know, just like not professional fights where like
No, it's
someone's
like
just
locker room fights or
no,
like,
fully where like they're just grabbing their hair, just like slamming them on anything that is like around. And
yeah.
it was hilarious. I loved every bit of it because
That
it
was
was
great.
just gargantuan man just getting like, I don't know, just like
Yeah.
school fighted. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, really quickly, can I talk about Shawn Michaels' outfit when he walked in just like
Oh,
super
please. Yes,
quick?
yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
really quick. Shawn Michaels walked in the most fabulous outfit that I will be trying to locate. I have to touch it. Like, I have to see it. It was like it was the assless chaps, of course, and this like, which I feel like people wear now. It's like that top, it's like just sleeves and it like hooks at the top, like right above, like,
Mm-hmm.
or right under your neck, and that's it. And then you're just bare chest, like whatever.
Love
But
it.
it was all different sized mirrors
Mm-hmm.
and like on top of a rainbow fabric. When he walked in and he just wore like a
A
cowboy hat, a
black
black
cowboy
cowboy
hat.
hat, I just it was
Gasped.
so good. And when he walked in, all the lights reflecting off him, he was like a disco ball. Like he just
Oh, it
looked
was amazing. A
I need
million
I
bucks. A million bucks.
absolutely need to look up like who was doing the
All of his
wardrobe
costumes.
because they're amazing. But not even him, like everybody else, because even Stone Cold's vest was like sick, like that leather vest with like
Mm-hmm.
this amazing patch on the back. Like, who was doing this wardrobe? I have to look up and give them their flowers like on the podcast next week or something because like it was gorgeous. It was just
Right.
objectively a beautiful piece of fabric. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Amen.
I just needed that minute
No
so much.
worries. Ah, so he also I went like ponytail-less this
Yeah,
time.
he
He was
said, let it fly.
said, let the freak flag fly. He
I don't
said,
have
go
time.
for it.
I don't have
So,
time for the hair ties.
mm-hmm. So this was a very different kind of match, I want to say, for Psycho Sid, in that
Yeah,
it was not as aggressive as we have known him.
I was gonna say
And it was
that.
very much like he was sticking to like a slower pace. He was very much sticking to like really just like submissions that were just like power based for the most part. Your bear hugs, your like side headlocks, your um abdominal stretch, like just stuff that's just
Yeah.
like very you use really effectively if you're very really strong, but like not trying to make a lot of mistakes, which is how it,
Mm.
you know what I mean, where it's just like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of room for error in those sorts of things. But it
Yeah.
was
That
very
makes
much like it
sense.
just wasn't as an aggressive match as I thought it was going to be from Sid, I should say.
Yeah, because I feel like he usually gets them to submit by just like throwing them into the ground as hard as possible and as many times as possible,
Right,
which makes sense because he's gigantic, he's tall, he's strong, he's also like lean and can be very athletic.
right.
But like usually it's just like I pick you
Power,
up, I put
power.
you down so hard you can't ever get up again. And this
Ugh,
time it was kind of just like, I'm just gonna like break your spine by squeezing it as hard as possible. Which
right,
again, like you said, is effective without like you're not leaving too much room for error.
right.
But I was like, this is interesting. Is this because he was like reading German philosophy last
I
week, or
guess
like
he became
he's becoming more of a
learned and
thinker? Yeah, like it was interesting, and I was surprised by that too. I was like there were very few power bombs.
except for the one outside.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that one was
So I guess if you're gonna
brutal.
do one, that's the one to
That's
do.
the
So you
one,
make
right?
sure you never forget it.
At one point yeah, so he power bombs Sean outside of the ring, and like fast forward a little bit, the referee gets knocked out in the corner, which is never good. Never
Never
good,
good.
never good.
Never good.
But Shawn Michaels takes advantage of it this time because he gets a little turnabout his fair play and grabs the camera off the cameraman and gets his licks in on Psycho Sid
Epic.
just as he lost the title, which is we love the storytelling.
Love to see it. I love to see Shawn Michaels fight dirty. Sorry, I hate to say it, but like I
Right.
I love to see because even at one point they were out in the beginning of the match. They were outside of the ring, and Psycho Sid had Shawn Michaels like up in the air and was
Oh
definitely gonna
yeah.
like drop him. And Shawn Michaels leans down and hooks his fingers in his eye. Like
Oh,
Psycho Sid's
like a
eye and just
good
starts
hook
pushing it.
too.
Oh, it was Xavier and I were like, that like literally looked like he was in his cornea. Like it
Mm-hmm.
really looked hooked in there. And so Psycho Sid, of course, drops him.
Oh yeah.
Like he fought so scraggly. Like there was like the camera was crazy. Love to see it. And it was so funny because like the cameraman just like grabs the wires and like pulls it out. Like Shawn Michaels drops it and he's like, okay, that's mine again now. Thank
Right.
you.
Fully. And you're like,
And so it vamooses out of the ring before there's any question of what could have possibly occurred for the ref.
amen.
So good.
So Psycho Sid knocks down the second ref because he's not about it. I mean,
Which
can't,
is crazy.
which was ridiculous.
So
Uh,
silly.
but HBK manages to get the ridiculous elbow. His elbow drop is like so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then gets sweet chin music just as Earl is like showing signs of
Of
life
life. Yeah.
and gives us like the slowest 3 count in the history of 3 counts.
Yep.
And that makes the hometown hero Shawn Michaels the WWF champion once again, which we love
Mm.
to see it. And I was gonna say a thing you can kind of, or at least like I like to look out for, is if a lot of the people you would normally like root for lose in the earlier part of the pay-per-view, the title, I
Mm.
always I always look to see like, is the title going to change hands then? If the
Interesting.
Because you got to remember, like you got to think of it from like a business standpoint, in that you can't leave your fans disappointed on every front. So
Yeah, because I would have rioted
if
actually.
the fan favorite in every single match lost, which they did up until this point, realistically, Ahmed Johnson won like via disqualification,
Disqualification. Yeah,
but
yeah.
then you have to give him the big one at the end.
That is a good point.
So
Because I would have because like I was already mad. I would have like really flipped out
right,
if like
it's
some
very
tomfoolery
rare that they're
happened.
gonna do that like all the way through.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, this is so funny too, because again, hashtag Nude Wrestling. I was like, I mean, they couldn't have like had him lose the championship in his hometown or whatever. And Xavier's like, oh no, they do that all the time. They get them like so hyped up to be in their hometown and then they destroy them. And I was like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you just never know. Like, it's just
never
out of the
know.
blue. Like, you're telling me I was supposed to predict Paul Bearer was going to team up with Vader? You're telling me I was supposed to predict that? I can't.
Right.
You're
No,
gonna
I
make
love it.
you're gonna make fools of people in their own town.
They love to do it. They love it. They love it so much.
That is
It was great. I happy to see Shawn on top again. Very excited to see Shawn versus Stone Cold.
yeah.
Also, Brett's hella pissed, so he's gonna have some words. He's gonna have some words.
I
If I'm
can't
remembering
wait.
correctly, he has quite a rant on the following Raw.
Okay, thank God. I
So
need to hear from him because I would be mad too. It's like, what are
yes,
we even doing at this point? Like,
he's been jilted twice.
yeah. I'm also like, I am so curious, and it's funny. I've been thinking about this, circling back to the championship. I've been curious about this for a long time, but I will not look it up because I don't want spoilers. But I was like, it's crazy because I don't feel like Psycho Sid's been champion that long. I'm like, I want to know like who was the shortest reigning champion. Like, I'm so curious. I'm not saying like who is it? Like, tell me right now. Like, obviously that's crazy, but like,
No, I believe there's one outside of like people. I want. I want to say Finn Balor. I think other than matches where the title could change hands multiple times in one match.
what?
It's happened.
What? I can't be here anymore, you guys. Like, this is so stressful.
I don't remember what year it was, but Finn Balor won the Universal Championship, is like what they call it nowadays. During the match, and had to relinquish it the next day on Raw because he got injured in that match, winning the title.
Oh, that's so sad.
That is so sad.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and he's never won it since, which is like a downer. But
that is a downer. I hate that. Okay, good to know. Not good to know. That sucked for him, but like, I was like, that I feel like is interesting. Like, and even like injury aside, like if he wasn't injured, like if it was legit like orchestrated that way, like this person just like they were like, nah, never mind, like you kind of whatever.
Drop the ball.
Yeah, like I'd be curious to know who that is, but wow. Because I was like, Psycho Sid didn't even make it a couple months, really. Like maybe 8, 7. I don't even know.
Oh, as the champion?
Yeah.
Way less.
Way less, right? I was being generous.
He's only had he only had that one pay-per-view match versus Brett, right? Who did he defend against? I think it was just Brett. He won it off of Shawn,
might be right.
defended against Brett, lost to Shawn.
Wow, yeah, not that long. Not that long.
So it's only been like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Girl. All right, guys. We did it.
Stressful.
We made it to the Royal Rumble.
Wow. Again, thank you for not spoiling it because it was truly shocking. I will never.
I knew this one was going to be a good one for you.
I know. I will never recover from this, and that's okay. We're here together. Safe space.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
We did it. All right, I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. As always, we thoroughly appreciate you being here, listening to us, watching us wherever you go. We do have a little apology for this episode coming out a day late than normal,
yeah,
but
sorry, guys.
We're recovering from the holidays just as much as anybody else, so bear with us.
In our daytime life, we're holiday and retail hotties. So
yeah, so it's been a lot the last.
It's been a lot.
Couple,
as I'm sure it has been for all of you. So,
but thank you, and don't forget to vote for us for the Sports Podcast Award in the Best Wrestling Podcast category, and we will see ya next time.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye.